So I thought now would be a good as time of any to study Zersetzung. So I'm going to give you a little lesson. Zersetzung was used in East Germany since the 1950s with General Secretary Walter Ulbricht's use of regular law enforcement and judiciary against dissidents. So in 1971, Erich Honecker's appointment as General Secretary saw a reform of operational procedures away from overt terror of Albrecht's towards Zersetzung, formalized in 1976 after the issue of Directive number 1 through 76, or 1 of 76 on development of revision of operational procedures. So basically, we're talking about Stasi style operations of psychological warfare, and its extensive network of informal collaborators to launch personalized psychological attacks against targets to damage their mental health and lower their chances of a hostile action to be taken against the state, which is what I believe is basically the same thing that's happening to me in a whole different ball game because it involved family and my own dad and these proxy lovers and proxy relationships. But you know they basically killed my best friend Andy Tranter in the same way that they just tried to set up my son, and then they, I believe, killed Natalie Jacobson the same way that was to deal with an arsenic poisoning. And like you can literally see it if you visit her page. You can literally see that she was dealing with something that was covert happening to her. So it's really sad out here that people don't see these things, but the use of Zersetzung is well documented due to Stasi files established and published after East Germany's demise and the fall of the Berlin Wall, with several thousand or up to 10,000 individuals estimated who have become victims, and 5,000 of whom sustained irreversible damages, which I believe is where I'm at, dealing with completely irreversible damages and my whole life. Like since I was a baby in diapers, my dad poisoning me, and then my brother's poisoning me, and obviously being all like, "Oh, I didn't do this and that and blah 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 blah." Special pensions for restitution has been created for Zersetzung victims, but I haven't been able to get any kind of restitutions made for being the victim of the crimes. It's just completely just sabotaging and like atrocious. So if you're a targeted individual, you should know one day soon that you should receive restitution. Even though the money won't change the facts that happened, it's at least something worth fighting for the targeted individuals out here today. I've been writing on the topics because of what's been happening to me. The use of Zersetzung and no touch torture techniques to be used on breaking individuals down and destroying their families, as if my family and life isn't destroyed. Mind you, it's destroyed from the inside, not just from the outside. So sometimes people do realize what's going on, and most times in my life, I didn't realize it, or I didn't have the ability to reason itself. But people's brains are being set up to being broken by the technology that's literally made to hurt people. Like they could utilize technology to make things like better for people, but instead, if you study mind control, you'll see here in America we are completely complicit to it. The process is to break down the person's character and to break down any established threat coming from a dissident to not only these people within our lives that are like, oh, well, we can get paid to work this way over our own little brother. I can identity theft him and I can arsenic poison him and I can call his jobs and tell him that they can't keep him on the payroll and or whatever they do, you know. But their purpose is to poison every last aspect of your life, and they do it and they get away with it. And people die today due to the use of these non-touch torture programs, including targeting American citizens, even within your own family, in your own bloodline. It's so fun. But then people want to like basically make these things as though we're just crazy. That's all. That's all it is. It's all you're looking at is that they're just crazy, even though it's definitely called crazy making, covert Stasi style policing type of narcissistic sociopathy designed by a psychopathic fucking demonic nature. But this is what pays the big bucks, you know? Is like you're willing to do dirty. You can make good money. You can go and live in a nice mansion and get a nice car. You can probably fake a smile for a while, you know? But either way, their smiles are a bunch of fucking jokes. I could smear them into the fucking ground. Their names they go by is Zersetzung, COINTELPRO, No Touch Torture, D&D tactics, or simply gang stalking, or better yet, known as organized crime by organized criminals that work in syndicates, you know, that don't believe in Jesus Christ or the God above that created their flesh. They believe that like they came from monkeys and that monkeys like evolved into humans. So I guess we're all like, but then it's like if I'm going to like be a monkey, pound the shit out of somebody, all of a sudden they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're a human being. You got to go to jail. You're one of those dissidents. You're one of those people." Like you don't have rights. And then these police tactics, the Stasi style policing is meant to persecute dissidents. That's all it's meant to do. So as long as you're willing to, uh, go to jail and take their medication in a, you know, institution or whatever they want to do, they're obviously going to go to fucking hell if they don't reverse from their actions. But today, these spy agencies in democratic countries are the signatories to the Five Eyes intelligence agreements that are illegally using Zersetzung tactics on behalf of the power elites and the corrupt interests, and for reasons that they have nothing to do with national security to uphold any rule of law, and especially not natural law. Like, if it's color of law, they'll run you right into the fucking ground. But anything that has to deal with natural law and the laws of nature, like, you think about it, they themselves are employed by secret policing powers, though they aren't actually powerful in spirit. They are working in accordance with the laws themselves, which makes them infiltrators and deceivers of truth. So law was designed to protect truth, not to stop truth. So it's like God is above man and man is above law, but law is superseding man's laws, which give, which they're creating rights as if you have any rights. But that's where inalienable rights come into play because it's the men mankind, that gave agency over to the policing powers to work to protect the truth, protect law, protect human life, protect dignity, morality, the list goes on, forthright, forthcoming type of stuff, just real easy to understand. But in these spy agencies, such as Canada's CSIS and the UK's MI5 or MI6, are morphing into secret Stasi-style policing to persecute innocent citizens for private interests. Our politicians, some judges, and police believe that these spy agencies can damage their careers and are too scared to provide them any oversight. So, without them providing any oversight, the information then provides a blueprint on Zersetzung style policing and abilities to use in real life experiences as in what I feel is my own life experiences as well, just being unjustifiably gang stalking times family abuse times let's just fucking stab this man's heart in any which way that we can covertly because they're all a bunch of biatches that don't know how to fight. If they wanted to fight, they only want to fight through like technology, through all of these ways that are like pre-planned events to use strategic measures to basically discredit me or not allow me to a resource such as an outsourcing Facebook page or Facebook itself or my own phone for that matter, my own phone number, or how about my identity, So they wanted to not only steal like my identity through Credit Karma, but they wanted to steal my identity to perform like life insurance policies, steal the deed of my house, or take money out on my equity, utilizing my name to like flop me off and leave me for dead in a proxy war against me, using these strategic measures to just completely discredit me and seize my ability to thrive in this life in any way, shape, or form. So now I'm able to see this. It's just like, okay, well, let's run him ragged. Let's make him have to drive, to go to the bathroom. Let's make him have to run around to take a shower. Let's make him let's stop him from water. Let's stop him from house, home, liberty, justice, pursuit of it, anything. So it's all about lies, smear campaigns, slandering, Next is the intimidation and harassment. So they'll just be paid to basically be the harassers of human life and human dignity. And then it finalizes in a cover-up to seal their crime, pervert justice to ensure the public that there's nothing intentional to see here that took place. Nothing at all. Even though it 100% is. So you can call the experiences that you're just going to reach out to be able to get no response back. And when you do get a response back, it's like you're doing the work for them. They could ultimately stop you from spending, $2 here, $25 there, and just gas money and miles and blah, blah, blah. But no, they're making you do all of this running around just so you can finally get them what they need and stuff like that. And they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, everything's shut off right now. We don't have any inspectors in the state of Minnesota for you. Or like just whatever you're dealing with, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just a perverted crime that just makes true law look like Sesame Street because they're a bunch of cartoon artists. So callers will all the time be made, or callers will call all the time and making your phone obsolete, but you have to call to be the user of your own justice, to try and get it, but then all of the avenues that you're taking to create those calls is just further harassing you to to instill the fact that they're doing these tactics to you. And then it's just another way that they can try and intimidate you to say, if you're calling too much, even to try and get the help that you're duly owed, that all of a sudden you're the harasser. So there's multiple reasons for abusing your phone number, your phone lines, your internet, all sorts of things. Smear campaigning you, artificial intelligence, like imitating your actual voice, mimicking your voice. But the main reason is just to distract you from being able to perform in normal life, because they want to perform this psychological operation over you to make you aware of how obsolete your use is of anything that you can be trying to like take out here in the real world, and so that you're being recorded, monitored, rendered useless to your own financials, your own financial ability to pay for your phone, you know your own financial ability to work a job, your own financial ability to work a gig app job, or even your own financial ability to work a cash paid job. Regardless of how they do it, it's to poison every single aspect of your life and leave you completely obsolete to being able to have an ordinary, everyday, normal citizen, nothing to see here type of life. So you want to use it privately, they'll hack you, they'll hijack your computers, your phones, social media pages, any information that can be used abroad to be used to completely target you or dismantle you and create for the character assassination, as we all know. And none of the information that you've held on to will be looked at for investigations or to report it correctly. You can try, and it just seems like it goes nowhere, or it's just being drawn out completely to where it's like, okay, well, this person's blacklisted. You can't get a job, you can't find work. They're going to shadow ban or block you when you try to use social media means to get information out to the public. You don't have a free press. You can be followed or have part of these spy agencies who will park their cars like near you all of the time. They'll also use non-lethal weapons, which are no-touch torture type of weapons, directed energy weapons, stuff like that on a person to create many symptoms, causing you to be rushed to the hospital or causing you to think in that way. You go to the hospital, these hospitals ignore the physical body. You could be like having a heart attack, just like I said, and like dropping down to zero, and they'll be like making it all mental health, and they'll even send you home with paperwork that says that it's delusional persecution. It's all in his head. We didn't look at the physical body. We didn't draw up any blood. We didn't give him even a little bit of a Tylenol or anything for what we are saying that his mental health is. They don't have any tools of the trade to suggest that you have any of these mental health issues. They just literally want you on pills because that's how the cartel is running with the allopathic care system and other ways that they can just basically create this radius around you to where anything that you're trying to do out there can be traceable or tracked back, or it's to make sure that anything you do cannot be traced back to the perpetrators. So they're trying to like make sure that you don't see the exact persons and people that they are, and so that once you do, it's like, oh my gosh, we got to run this person into the ground and kill him for sure. He is too awake. He knows too much about what's going on, and he hasn't even been trained as a proper law student or going through an academy or anything like that. He's just a lone wolf, and we just got to kill him. So your home can be under surveillance. Your phones can be surveilling you. They basically look for ways to harass you and keep you in this unknown battle, so to speak. But it's not an unknown battle when you learn it very well. They use covert surveillance, and if you don't want anyone else to, and they don't want anyone else to know about it, and especially not their children, I've come to learn. especially not their wives. If their wives would care, they want to like gatekeep their own and gatekeep like anybody that could be like, you're like, dad, you're an asshole, or person, you're a fucking complete asshole, tool, prick, motherfucker. I don't even know how the fuck you can look at yourself in the mirror, things like that. So they don't want anyone to actually see it for what it is. But they can use overt surveillance as well, which is making sure that you know it and gives you the notion that there is nothing you can do about it, which in turn renders justice and liberty completely out of the equation. And if you are run out of your home or your apartment or you're under attack, the chances of finding people who are actually on the same playing field are slim to none. Good effing luck. The things that can happen to you are truly endless because it's not meant for anyone necessarily to be able to see it besides for you to see it, but you feel it. You know something isn't right, which is very true, even including the arsenic abuse that I've gotten. You know something's not right. You're like fucking dying to your cellular level, unable to fucking breathe. You're gonna know something's up. It's just being set up against you, and it always is. Everything they do is to make sure that you're looking as unstable as possible, to make you unable to speak out in any kind of way, and in any way that should scare you to speak out, because these people are simply being killed. But when you're left with no option and it's just like, okay, we're all gonna die one day, I guess some black helicopters can come land on my roof and do what they're gonna do. But it's just designed to hurt your motor skills, your neurological systems, and use these radiation and other chemicals in order to silence themselves from being completely complicit with manipulated crimes. So they'll make sure your house can be bugged, or you can be infected with something contagious, so that not only you're fighting your health, but you're fighting to stay away from other people that might be able to help you because you care about other people, but they don't. It's just how demons work in this kind of way, or the demonology side of it. But your personal liberty is as well just being stopped on every single front. They will stop at nothing to get you to just get up, for you to just get up, find that you're dealing with too much, you're going to give up, you're going to give in, neglect yourselves to the point where you're just depressed and you have nowhere to turn to for answers, and you'll be going to the doctors and asking them, for help, and then you're not getting their help, so you're just like, okay, I guess I'm just going to ask for the 35 head pills that you want me on so my tongue can swell up in the middle of my sleep and I could die without any consequences to you whatsoever. Fun, fun, fun. So they'll intimidate you, make it hard for you to even want to go outside into the real world to try and create a life that you're passionate about, because if you're passionate about something, that's the last thing that they want you to be. You want to create a website, you want to like one up like all of the charities out here, you want anything I were to do in normal life, I would completely crush it. I would completely crush the competition. I would crush the availability that these other people have to their own brainiac selves to think that they could do any better. When the fact of the matter is that I'm headstrong in that fashion, and they just do not like people who are headstrong in that way. If you're headstrong in that way, they just legitimately want to dismantle your life and kill you. It's just such a darn good crime. They got to make it impossible for you to go out and do anything you're passionate about. So they will make it so that you know that you have no system to trust, no people to really rely on, because it's meant to discredit you, distract you, deceive you, and deny you. These are the D's, D and D's. Discredit you, distract you, deceive you fully, and then when you come out with what you have to say, they're going to deny you. You don't know what they'll say. You don't know what you're talking about, and people will naturally think that. With whatever you got going on, people will naturally think like, this person doesn't know anything that he's talking about. But you must have done something to bring it on yourself, because it's to make you look like you've eroded up on your own behalf in order that There was no assistance in the process to break you down mentally or anything of that sort. No, that can't be done. They'll use anything to make sure that you're down and out off the battlefield, not coming back to the field to play ball because they see you as a threat or like a virus in their life because they just have this initial need to get rid of you. So they'll target your finances, they'll target you in your job, they'll target you in your relationships, they'll target you to not only blacklist you, many lies and corruption, smear campaigns, slander, have people attack you like real life people with like unknown names and faces. They'll work. They'll give them work hours to go and be paid to like go up against you and hurt you. You can try and get an investigation, but seeing as the fact that you're on some list somewhere, you're on a whistleblowers list or you're on a whatever list, this or that, you're a dissident, you'll not be able to get any kind of real experience. You can try and create your own cereal and give 75% to charity. They won't even allow you to get your own cereal made or your own business or your own band-aid deal or record label, or they don't want you to be singing. They definitely don't want you to sing like 10,500 songs or something like that on YouTube because maybe you might be able to reach somebody, but probably not because people are so fucking heartless out here. But even if you're willing to like give 75% to charity of a business, they'll be like, "Oh no, that means that you're making a difference by the bowlful." I'm just kidding. I totally just stole that. I totally just ganked that. Sorry. Sorry. Anyway, good luck out here. I hope that everyone goes to heaven. Bye.